So this is Lullaby for Two. They say that when you speak of Satan, Satan appears. I wish it were that easy. In the dark, I whisper his name and wait. I even tried different names. Lucifer, the Dark Lord. But still I wait to see him and feel his breath like wings across my neck. There are times when I feel him watching me from the shadows of my room. I know he is there, and I know when he is ready he will show himself. And then we will go away, the two of us, to some distant liberation far from this sad old world of shattered dreams. But until such time, I will heed the advice of Dr. Jaffe and avoid my reflection in the full-length mirror. Sometimes I wish I were man enough to make the trip alone and leave this hollow life behind me, severed like some useless head. But I have always been alone, and I deserve a strong companion. So I pace the floor until I dare myself once more to whisper his name, Lucifer. Still, all that greets me is my own morbid fear, which will have to do for now. But it is my fear, and I love it because it is my fear, and because there is nothing left I can count on. It causes me no shame to admit I love a good scare, when the happy hand of life becomes a bitter fist, and that special ungodly fear begins to seep like venom, seeking every muscle, thrilling every pore. How quickly, how eagerly I cling to its paralysis. Sometimes like a slave whip, it snaps so near my face that for an instant I feel its sting upon my lips and fight the urge to flinch. But snug in that fear, I can sing arias. The shrill cantata warbles from my throat. I clutch my hairy chest until my knuckles pale, and I shiver with the throes of joy. It is a kind of living death, this morbid fear. It is my black death, and within this living death I hope to lose myself in madness. When I dream of madness. And I do dream. But of late, even as I dream, I find even the madness eludes me. It is a clever thing, like a woman, teasing me, staying ever a dagger's length away from the eager tips of my fingers. It is late on this warm night, and I, Marvin Hackle, am alone again. I am always alone on nights like this at the corner of Lawrence and Sheridan. I stop and pretend to be waiting for someone. But there is no one, save these stumbling faces, pale as gauze, lips so tight they can barely breathe, and there is no air to speak of. A car pulls up to the red light. A bare-chested young man at the wheel looks away from me and guns his engine. Unknown leaflets scatter like moths at my feet. I step off the curb as if to hail a cab and realize I'm stalling. Somewhere far away, a single gallows dances in the breeze. It belongs to me, and it waits patiently in its silent dance for the snap of my neck. I will know it when the time is right. I will give it up freely and take the scratchy hemp on my thin flesh and kick the life out. How much better will it be to go out with a snap than to starve in that infertile madness these fools call life? My sister is one of those fools. She lives in the apartment next to mine in this brownstone, and since I am so close, I get to babysit Michelle, my niece, so baby can spend her days at the mall. I just gotta get out of this house, she shouts, and slaps her man-sized hands on the kitchen table so hard we all jump. She has been acting this way ever since Andrew left her. They fought for 5 years, shouting so loud I could hear them through the wall. Then one night he simply did not come home from work. He never called, he never even sent for his things. That was almost a year ago now. Becky says he has started leaving messages on her answering machine, and a handful of cashier's checks have shown up in the mail, but so far no Andrew. To stay focused, Becky invests heavily in her appearance. Her nails have reached an epic red. Her once auburn hair is brittle from frequent home permanence, and she has taken to wearing stretch pants and layers of costume jewelry. The sight of her bulging and glittering by the kitchen sink makes me conscious of my own unclipped nails. I rake them in a week's worth of whiskers and wonder if she knows how heavy she looks in tiger stripes. It baffles me that a grown woman can be so helpless. I zip her up, light her pilot light, tune her guitar. I do not complain aloud. She is my sister. And now that Andrew has left her, Michelle and I are all she has. If there is a child in that house, it is not Michelle. I say this because, unlike her mother, Michelle prides herself with being grown up. Though she is only 4, toys to her spell boredom. She much prefers long hours at her mother's peach-ruffled vanity, applying careful streaks of designer eyeshadow or glossing her lips. She imitates her mother's gestures like a mime. I sit across the room with a book in my lap and pretend not to notice. I believe if I love anyone, I love Michelle. I feel so sorry for her that her father is gone, that she has only Becky to mimic, such a shallow mother to figure out. But I go on wishing as I must that someday, through osmosis, Michelle will begin to figure me out as well. I've always been good with children. I've never been good with myself. It amazes me how she gulps her juice from the jelly jar glass, as though this might be her final dying chance to quench her thirst. At the end, she gasps for air, having stopped her breathing in her haste to drink every last drop. I wonder that she can hold her breath so long, how long it would take for her little body to run out of oxygen. And I wonder, too, how time can pass so quickly when we are together. It is always far too soon when Becky returns and I find myself pacing in the dark again on my side of this cold wall.